My sister publicly humiliated my son for fun and made him cry, so now I'm skipping her wedding. She's upset that I'm ruining her special day. Posted by You Aggressive Test 9184. Despite this, I always tried to maintain a good relationship with her, believing that deep down she cared for me. This all came to a head during a recent family gathering at Jane's house. My son Liam, who is 7 months old, has a bladder issue that sometimes causes him to have accidents. We've been working with doctors and trying our best to manage it, but it's a sensitive topic for him. During the gathering, Liam had an accident and was embarrassed. I was in the process of helping him clean up when Jane noticed. Instead of being understanding or discreet, she loudly pointed it out in front of everyone. She said things like, "At his age, this is unacceptable and disgusting." She even went as far as to say that Liam should be ashamed of himself and criticized me for not getting him under control. Her comments made Liam burst into tears, and I quickly took him home to comfort him. As I was gathering our things to leave, Jane came over. Jane noticed Liam had an accident, and instead of being understanding or discreet, she loudly pointed it out in front of everyone. She said things like, "At his age, this is unacceptable and disgusting," and even went as far as to say that Liam should be ashamed of himself and criticized me for not getting him under control. Her comments made Liam burst into tears, so I quickly took him home to comfort him as I was gathering our things to leave. Jane came over. Jane was clearly upset and asked me why I was leaving. I looked at her and, trying to keep my voice calm for Liam's sake, said, "Jane, I think it's best if we go home. Liam is very upset right now. We're working with doctors on this, and it's a sensitive issue for him. Your comments just now were really hurtful." She said something like, "I was just telling the truth. He needs to toughen up. You're not doing him any favors by babying him at this point." I was furious, but I didn't want to escalate the situation in front of Liam. I took a deep breath and said, "We'll talk about this later. Right now, I need to take care of my son." Liam and I went to the car on the drive home. I couldn't get James's face and her harsh words out of my mind. This wasn't the first time she had made Liam feel bad about his condition. I had hoped she would understand and show some empathy, but it seemed like she was only getting worse. The next day, I called Jane to talk about what had happened. This conversation is from what I can remember. I wanted to explain again, away from the heat of the moment. I really hoped she would see reason. I said, "Jane, about yesterday. I need you to understand how much your words hurt Liam. He's already struggling. And your comments made him feel even worse." Instead of apologizing, Jane was very defensive. It was clear she wasn't going to apologize. I said, "Jane, I don't think you understand how serious this is. He has a medical condition. It's not something he can just toughen up from." She told me, "Look, I have a wedding to plan. I don't have time for this drama." When Jane's wedding invitations went out, I received one, but I felt conflicted. On the one hand, she's my sister, and it's a significant event in her life. On the other hand, I couldn't forget how she humiliated my son and her. I decided to decline the invitation after much thought. I didn't feel comfortable celebrating with someone who had been so cruel to my child. When Jane found out she was living, she accused me of trying to ruin her special day and called me petty and overdramatic. Some family members sided with her, saying I should let it go for the sake of family peace, while others understood my decision and supported me. This wasn't the first time Jane had done this kind of thing before. She's got a history of making her full comments about Liam's condition and generally lacks sensitivity when it comes to his medical issues. Each time I've tried to address it calmly, hoping she would eventually understand and be more considerate. Unfortunately, she never changes and her behavior continues to hurt my son. Jane has been blowing up my phone, including other family members. I don't want to cause family drama, but I also feel strongly. I'd like to talk about standing up for my son. Do you think I was wrong to refuse to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son? I've also talked to Liam about what happened. I told him that it wasn't his fault at all and that Aunt Jane was being very rude and inconsiderate. I told him that he's an amazing boy and to never let anybody say otherwise. My son was very happy to hear this. He told me that what Jane had said to him hurt his feelings a lot, and I completely understood. I asked him if he wanted to continue to go to these family events, and he said no, and I fully supported his decision. My son comes first, and the comments have helped me realize that I've let Jane walk all over me. I've realized that I've been letting her walk all over me, and I've decided to have little to no contact with her. I'll send her the occasional holiday message, but that's it. I cannot be around someone who hurts my son. I felt as if I had failed as a mum, and the comments have truly opened my eyes. So thank you all. As for the people in my family who I've blocked, my sister and anyone else who agrees with her. I love my son and I'd do anything for him. I should have put a stop to it sooner and I regret not doing that. However, I know I can be a better mum and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've also told the family that was contacting me in a mass group chat that we would no longer be in contact. I told them I wouldn't be coming to any family events. If they wanted to see my son, they'd have to come individually or the event would have to be hosted by me. I also told them my sister's behavior needs to be fixed because that's the reason our family is being torn apart. It's not because I'm not going to her wedding, but because she decided to make fun of my child. My mother is on my side and fully supports my decision. My father is still stuck in the middle. I think I should go low contact with him too. I'm going to keep in touch with you all and keep the updates coming whenever I can. All I know is that even if she gives my son the apology he deserves, I want nothing to do with her. I don't want her around my son. Commenter, why are you going low contact with your dad?